A very good morning and happy Vesak to all committee members and members of Chamiyeta, Singapore, all Upasakas and Upasika. May all you be well, healthy and peaceful always. Today is a Vesak day, Buddha Puja day. I'm sure all of you know about this ceremony. The Vesak day is to commemorate the birth of Buddha to be Prince Siddhartha, his attainment of enlightenment, Buddhahood, and then his parinibbana. But on this auspicious day, it is important, more significant to reflect on the teachings of the Buddha. It's very difficult, very rare that we have opportunity to hear the good Dhamma or the true Dhamma, Sat Dhamma. If Buddha has not appeared in this world, then we will not have this opportunity to hear the teachings of Sat Dhamma. The word Sat Dhamma means good Dhamma, true Dhamma, especially the teachings of the Four Noble Truths, dependent originations, and the teaching of anatta, no self or not self. So it's very rare, very difficult to obtain this opportunity to hear the teachings of Sammasambuddha. Similarly, it's difficult or very rare to be born as a human. In one of the discourses of the Buddha, the Buddha explains this simile, the simile that explains about difficulties or very rare to obtain birth as a human. This simile is very well known in the teaching. This simile is about a bright turtle. The Buddha explains in this discourse that if we imagine that if this earth had become one mass of water, and a man would throw a yoke with a single hole upon it. A yoke is like an object in the shape of circle with a hole in the middle. So this yoke was thrown into this mass of water. The wind from the east turn direction would drive the yoke to the west. The wind from the west would drive the yoke to the east. The wind from the north would drive the yoke to the south. the wind from the south would drive the yoke to the north. So there was this bright turtle. There was this bright turtle who come to the surface once every 100 years. So the Buddha asked his disciple, what do you think? Would the bright turtle coming to the surface once every 100 years insert its neck into that yoke with a single hole? So at that time, the disciples answer, if it will, if it will, if it would ever do so, Bante. So during the Buddha's time, the disciple addressed Buddha as Bante. It will be only after a very long time. But the Buddha say, sooner than this. They mean the bright turtle coming to the surface of the water once every year, insert its neck into that yoke with a single hole. That chance will happen sooner than the foolish one who has gone once to the state of loss. Say loss means full states, such as born in the realms of hungry ghosts, in the realms of hell, animal realms. So the chance of bright turtle that would insert its neck into yoke. This may happen sooner than the foolish one who has gone to the states of loss and regain the human state, thus be born as a human again. So, in other words, if a being has taken birth in the state of loss, such as in the world of hell, or in the realms of a hungry ghost, or in the world of animals, the chance of being born again as a human is very slim. Why? The Buddha said, because in the state of loss, there's no chance, there's no opportunity to do any wholesome deeds. There's no meritorious activities in the state of loss. There's no righteous conduct in this state of loss. So they do not have a chance to realize the Four Noble Truth, the Noble Truth of suffering, the Noble Truth of the cause or the origin of suffering, the Noble Truth of the cessation of suffering, the Noble Truth of the way leading to the cessation of suffering. So now you have been born as a human, so should make an effort to understand or to realize the Four Noble Truths so that you shall be free from suffering in samsara. Samsara, the word samsara means the cycle of birth and death. So if one has not yet realized the Four Noble Truths, one may be born again in the state of loss. So this course explains how difficult to be born as a human. So we should bear in mind this opportunity to learn the profound teaching, especially the essence of teaching. There is the teaching of the noble truth. So with the appearance of the Buddha and the teachings of the true Dhamma, then the world will gain this opportunity, um, opportunity to learn the teachings of the true Dhamma, to realize the form of truth, so that one shall be free from this samsara, or in other words, one shall be liberated from the cycle of birth and death. So as you know, this opportunity is very rare to come. Um, Once the Buddha said, um, um, when the Buddha has appeared in the world, um, um, if a person has been reborn in hell, this is the inopportune moment. That's not the right occasion for living the holy life. Inopportune moment in Pali is not known as akana, or inopportune moment. The opposite of inopportune moment is opportune moment. If one is born in the opportune moment, then one will have the right opportunity to follow the teaching Buddha, to live a holy life. The word opportune means the right time, right occasion to do something, and will become successful. So the Buddha say, when Tathagata has appeared in this world, um, but if a person has been reborn in hell, this is one of the inopportune moments. That's not the right occasion for living the spiritual life, um, or holy life. What is holy life? Holy life is a practice of the Noble Eightfold Path, or the holy life refers to the cultivation or development of the 8 factors of the Noble Path. So it's important to bear in mind the 8 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path. The 8 factors of the Noble Path are right understanding, right thoughts, right speech, right actions, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right occasions. So the right mindfulness and right concentration. I shall repeat. Right understanding, right thoughts, right speech, right actions, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Um, so if a person has been reborn in hell at the time of the Buddha, this is an inopportune moment. That means there's no opportunity to live a holy life. Similarly, if one has been reborn in the animal realm during the Buddha's time. This is a second inopportune moment. In other words, this is not a right occasion to live a holy life. There's no opportunity to develop the eight factors of the noble path. Um, um, so we should reflect on this. Um, um, so I shall explain further. Uh, when the Buddha has appeared in the world, but a person has been reborn in the realms of afflicted spirits, or in the world of suffering beings, such as world of hell or hungry ghosts. This is a third inopportune movement. Um, there's no opportunity to live a holy life in the state of loss. Then the fourth inopportune movement is that a person has been reborn um, in certain Brahma world. For example, Asanya Satta. Asanyata Satta means non-percipient beings. So a being who is born in this realm, they do not have perception, so they will not know that the Buddha has appeared in the world. If one has reborn there, one would not have the opportunity to live a holy life. So similarly, if one has not yet attained uh, any stages of enlightenment and reborn in the formless world, for example, in the world of infinite consciousness, or in the world of nothingness, or in the world of the realms of neither perception nor non-perception, or in the world of immaterial sphere planes. It's because beings in the formless world do not have the body, so they could not come into contact with the teaching of Buddha. Yeah. So before the Bodhisattva attained the Buddhahood, he at the time Bodhisattva, in other words, when Prince Siddhartha has renowned the worlds, he learned from two teachers, but they can only guide him to gain mundane concentration. So one of his teachers was Alala Kalama. He, he, he passed away and born in the realms of nothingness. Then the second teacher, Udaka Lamaputta, was born in the world of neither perception nor non-perception. So when Bodhisattva had attained enlightenment and become a Sammasambuddha, at that time Buddha was thinking that he wanted to teach the Dhamma to his previous two teachers. But the Buddha found that they have reborn in this formless world. So the Buddha could not teach the Dhamma to them. So it's very unfortunate. It's not the right occasion to live a holy life. Then The fifth inopportune moment, if, during the Buddha's time, if a person has been reborn in a province among those in a society where their conduct is not refined, is not cultured, and the disciples of Buddha will not travel to such places, so they do not have the chance to come into contact with the teachings of Buddha. So this is a fifth inopportune moment. Number 6 is that a person has been reborn in the middle countries. Here, middle countries refers to a place in India where Buddha will appear. But a person has been reborn in this middle country, but that person holds wrong view. So when one holds wrong view, one will not believe that there's a Buddha or Arahant in the world. A person who holds wrong view will not believe in the teaching of karma and its result and so on. So this is inopportune moment or unfortunate birth is because of holding wrong view. Such person will never live a holy life. Then the seventh inopportune moment is that a person has been reborn in the middle countries, but that person is not wise, not intelligent, unable to understand the teaching, was well spoken or well stated or badly stated. So this is the seventh inopportune moments. And number 8, the eighth inopportune moments is that the Buddha has not appeared in the world. So when the Buddha has not appeared in the world, there's no teachings of the true Dhamma. There's no teachings of the Saddhamma, such as teachings of the noble truth, teaching of dependent origination, teaching of the anatta, not self. Even though that person is very intelligent, and he is very wise person, but because the Buddha has not appeared in the world, so there's no chance to hear the teaching of true Dhamma. There's no opportunity to live a holy life. So there are these 8 inopportune moments. That means if one happens to be born in such a state, then they do not have the opportunity, the right occasion to live a holy life or to practice the Noble Eightfold Path. Then the Buddha explained further, but this unique opportune moment, there's the right occasion to live a holy life. What this unique opportune moment the right occasion to live a holy life. So this unique opportune moment, the right occasion to live a holy life, refers to the appearance of the Sama Sambuddha. A Buddha has appeared in the world, an Arahant, perfectly enlightened and endowed with these nine supreme attributes. And the Dhamma, that leading to peace, to enlightenment, is well proclaimed by the Buddha. And a person has been reborn in the middle countries. That person's wise intelligence, able to understand the meaning of the teaching, what has been well stated and badly stated. So Buddha say, this is the one unique opportune moment. This is the right occasion to live a holy life. So this discourse given by the Buddha is to explain that we have obtained the human states. It's very rare, very difficult um, um, to obtain this birth in the human states. And the Buddha has appeared the world. Though at this uh, present time, the Buddha has realized Paridhimana. We cannot see the Buddha in person, but his teaching, the teaching of Buddha, has not yet disappeared. The teaching of the Buddha is, can be found as his disciples, the ordained disciples and the lay disciples have been continuing his teaching and practice his teaching. So at this present, at the present, we are living in the opportune moment. Opportune moment means we are fortunate to be born in this human state. We have the opportunity to come in the teachings of Buddha, the teachings of the true Dhamma. So we should not waste this opportunity. If this opportunity is wasted, then we might born in the state of loss again. We might experience suffering in the samsara. So on this auspicious occasion, we celebrate the birth of the Buddha to be Prince Siddhartha. His enlightenment as a Sama Sambuddha, and then his passing away, Mahaparinibbana. So we are not only honoring the Buddha with flowers, waters, incense, and so on. This is merely a devotional practice that and help us to develop devotional faith or devotional confidence. But it's more important to follow the teaching, to undertake the, the, uh, the trainings of the teachings of the Buddha consists um, mainly the three kinds of training: training in morality, training in concentration, and training wisdom. Um, so we are not. It's not possible to see the Buddha in person, but if one is able to see the Dhamma, then one shall see the Buddha. So during the Buddha's time, at that time there was a monk by the name of Wakali. He was very sick. He wanted to see the Buddha very much. Eventually, he made a request through his to his brothers, to other monks, um, um, asked them to approach the Buddha so that the Buddha, out of compassion, will approach the Bhikkhu Wakali, will come to see the Bhikkhu Wakali. At the time, Bhikkhu Wakali was very sick, not able to travel. So the Buddha came to see Wakali, Bhikkhu Wakali. So Bhikkhu Wakali expressed his remorse and regrets because he couldn't go to see the Buddha. He wanted to see the Buddha very much. For a long time, he always thinking of seeing the Buddha. But the Buddha said to him, why do you want to see this foul body? Foul body means this smelling body. Then the Buddha said further. So this saying of the Buddha is very well known in the teaching. The Buddha said, I quote, one who sees the Dhamma sees me. One who sees me sees the Dhamma. For in seeing the Dhamma, Wakali, one see me, and seeing me, one see the Dhamma. So, unquote. So if one aspires to see the Buddha, though it's not possible to see the Buddha in person nowadays, but it's possible to see the Buddha by seeing the Dhamma. So, what's this Dhamma that the Buddha referred to? This Dhamma is not the mundane Dhamma, but the Dhamma here refers to 9 supra-mundane Dhamma, or the 9 stages of supra-mundane wisdom. The 9 supra-mundane wisdoms consist of 4 stages of path knowledge, or 4 stages of fruition knowledge, and enlightenment or nibbana. So if one is able to see all these 4 stages of path knowledge, 4 stages of fruition knowledge, and nibbana enlightenment, one is indeed seeing the Buddha, the Tathagata. So the, the significance of this saying is very profound. The meaning is very deep. Um, those who do not understand the teaching very much, then oh, they might think seeing the Buddha Rupa is seeing the Buddha. Um, so Buddha Rupa is merely a form. Um, the, the form help us to remember the Buddha, to remember the great attributes of the Buddha, such as the attribute Arahant, attribute of Sammasambuddha, and so on. And to remember his teaching, in his teaching in general is known as Dhamma. Um, um, so Dhamma here, in this case, is the supramundane Dhamma. So if one aspire to see the supramundane Dhamma, then one has to make an effort to practice or to develop the 8 factors of the noble path. So those uh, um, who have been practicing mindfulness meditation, satipatthana meditation, or insight meditation, vipassana bhavana, we understand how does one is able to develop the 8 factors of the path by the practice of satipatthana meditation. So this point is very important. If one did not put forth effort to develop the path, the 8 factors of the path, then one shall not be able, one shall not be able to see Tathagata, shall not able to see the Dharma. So when one practices satipatthana or mindfulness meditation, one is in fact developing the 8 factors of path. Mindfulness is one of the factors of right mindfulness. So when one practices mindfulness, one should practice in accordance with Mahasatipatthana Sutta, the discourse on the practice of the 4 foundation mindfulness. When one practices mindfulness, one needs to put effort, mental effort into the practice. When mindfulness is constant and continuous, then one is able to gain concentration. During the practice of mindfulness, there's a factor which is known as right thoughts, samma sankappa. But during the practice mindfulness, samma sankappa is a factor of vitaka, applied thoughts. Vitaka has the characteristics of leading the mind or the attention of mind, the awareness to the phenomena of mindfulness again. So when the concentration is deep enough, then there's a rising of insight knowledge. realizing the true nature of mental and physical phenomena. That's right understanding. So during the practice of mindfulness, um, these are the 5 factors we know as the working factors of right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration, right thoughts, and right understanding. So when one um, when one practices mindfulness diligently, at that time one will not get involved into wrong speech, wrong actions, wrong livelihood. So by this practice of mindfulness, one is able to develop the 8 factors of the path, and then one shall fully understand the truth of suffering. One shall be able to abandon the cause or the origin of suffering and experience the cessation of suffering. Um, so um, in that way, one will see the Dhamma and see the Tathagata, the Buddha. So one should remember the importance of the practice of mindfulness. And this practice mindfulness will lead to the ultimate refuge. We go to the Buddha, to the Dhamma, and Sangha for refuge. But one must rightly understand that the refuge is not found outside. The refuge should be established in one's own mind. So the refuge, sometimes those who do not understand the teaching will go to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha for refuge. They have the idea that the Buddha or the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha will give them the refuge, give them the protection, you protect them from harm and danger, and so on. You protect them so that uh, they will be free from harm and danger. They may pray to the Buddha so that their, their life will be safe, their business will be prosperous, and so on. If the wish is not fulfilled, or if their prayers is not fulfilled, they will be very disappointed. They will be very disappointed, and sometimes they may left the teaching. So we should know the significance of refuge. So before I end the talk, I shall quote this paragraph from the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the discourse on the great passing away, the Buddha's last days. So this paragraph is also found in other discourses. I quote, so the Buddha said to Ananda, I quote, dwell with yourself as your own island, with yourself as your own refuge, with no other refuge. Dwell with the Dhamma as your island, with the Dhamma as your refuge, with no other refuge. So how does one dwell oneself as one's own island, with oneself as one's own refuge, with no other refuge. So here, the Buddha taught us to take the Dhamma as a refuge. Um, um, so how does one dwell oneself as one's own island, with oneself as one's own refuge, with no other refuge? Um, so the Buddha said here, one dwells contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, removing covetousness and grief in the world. Then the Buddha said the same thing. One dwells contemplating the feeling in the feelings. One dwells contemplating the mind in the mind. One dwells contemplating the Dhamma in the Dhamma. Ardent one, in other words, one put forth strenuous effort, clearly comprehending, mindful, removing covetousness and grief in the world. This how a person is able to take the Dhamma as a refuge by the practice of Satipatthana meditation. So one should not look for the refuge, protections from others. One should become one's own refuge. So we have this opportune moment, the right occasion to live a holy life. There's to develop the 8 factors of the Noble Path by the practice of Satipatthana meditation. So when one has accomplished in the practice, one has developed the 8 factors of the path fully, then one shall gain the knowledge, the right knowledge, to realize the Four Noble Truth. Then the Buddha say, this is a safe refuge, or secure refuge. By seeking such refuge, one is released from all suffering or sorrow. So on this auspicious occasion, remember, it's important to reflect the significance of Buddha Day Puja. If you wish to pay homage to the Buddha, if you wish to pay respect to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, then you should take the Dhamma as your refuge. And this Dhamma is not the supra-mundane Dhamma. As you know, at the end of the talk on Dhamma, or at the end of the day, during mindfulness meditation retreat, we will chant these verses, Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patiya Buddham Pujemi, and then Dhamma Pujemi, Sangham Pujemi. The Dhamma here refers to the 9 Lokuttara Dhamma that consists of 4 stages of path knowledge, 4 stages of fruitional knowledge and Nibbana. Dhamma Patipati means this practice Dhamma in conformity with these 9 stages of Lokuttara Dhamma, 9 stages of supramundane wisdom. By this way of practice, I pay my homage or respect to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So Buddha Puja is not merely offering of flowers, lights, incense, water, and so on. The most important significance of Buddha Puja is to practice the Dhamma, to take the Dhamma as a refuge by the practice of 4 foundation mindfulness, or in other words, to develop the 8 factors of the noble path by the practice of Satipatthana meditation for foundation mindfulness. Um, so um, we should make this noble aspiration on this auspicious day that we shall take the Dhamma as a refuge. We shall remember that this is an opportune movement. This is not an inopportune movement. So this is an opportune movement. That's why we must be heedful. Apamada, the Buddha say, apamada. Before the passing away of the Buddha say, Vayat Dhamma Sankara, apamada de apamadena sampadeta. All conditions, phenomena subject to passing away. Accomplish your training with mindfulness. It means all the practices related to these 3 trainings, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, should be accomplished with the practice of mindfulness. So I wish all of you, especially all members of Chamita Singapore, all upasakas and upasika, whenever you have gone to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha as a refuge, you are known as upasaka, lay male disciples, and upasika female disciples, and so it's important that one should have the right understanding and be heedful all the time. So I wish all of you staying healthy, staying safe all the time, and most important that you make a noble inspiration, inclining your mind to the practice of the true Dharma, especially the practice of four foundation mindfulness, development of the Noble Eightfold Path, so that you could realize a safe refuge, which and be free from suffering in samsara. So may all you be well, happy, and healthy always. May all of you will realize the ultimate aim of following the teaching Buddha and live in ultimate bliss.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, Paniriva Sadhu.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your good Dhamma talk for us. And behalf of the Chamita Singapore and members, we are wishing you are a good health and long life.
Yes.
Sadhu, sadhu. So we have to continue the last program of the inspiration and sharing marriage and chanting more the Chinese meter in full. So
please repeat after me. Ada imaya.
Ada imaya.
Pati badaya.
Pati badaya.
Yara maranamha.
Yara maranamha.
Parimuci sami.
Parimuci sami.
Idame punyam.
Idame punyam.
Asawakaya wahang.
Asakaya wahang.
Otu. Idame silam.
Idame silam.
Maga pala yanasa.
Mega pala yanasa.
Pacayo.
Pacayo.
Otu. Imano punya bagam.
Imano punya bhagam.
Sapa satanam.
Tapa satana.
Dema.
Ima.
Sape sata.
Tapi sada.
Sukita hontu.
Sukida hontu.
Sadhu.
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 Sadhu. So we shall chant the honoring the verses of honoring the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, our parents and teachers. So, Imaya
Imaya.
Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya
Dhammanu Dhammapati Patiya.
Buddhang Pujemi.
Bodham Pujemi.
Imaya
Imaya.
Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya
Dhammanu Dhammapati Patiya.
Dhammam Pujemi.
Dhamma Pujemi.
Imaya
Imaya.
Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya
Dhammanu Dhammapati Patiya.
Sanghang Pujemi.
Sangha Pujemi.
Imaya
Imaya.
Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya
Dhammanu Dhammapati Patiya.
Mata Pita Ro Pujemi.
Mata Pita Pujemi.
Imaya
Imaya.
Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya
Dhammanu Dhammapati Patiya.
Acariye Pujemi.
Acariye Pujemi.
Sadhu,
Sadhu.
sadhu,
Sadhu.
sadhu. Yes,
We have to chanting the Chamiyeta Metta.
yes, please continue.
Guru Senya
Anyeta Lampakavati Vasi Metta Senya Ayeta Lampakavachomasi Tadawa Mantamya Bhimaka Imya Chanta Shivasi Tadawa Mandavi Tiyatri Chamaya Shivasi Buddha Sadhana Shivya Gava Anandamasi Tadawa Mananya Ukveja Dukha Kate Masi
Sadhu,
Sadhu, Sadhu.
Okay, thank you, Shadow and everybody. Now we are successfully close the ceremony.
yes, sadhu,
Sadhu.
sadhu, sadhu.